Hey guys, welcome to episode 3 of the Skyrim Modding tutorial series, and this will be how to make a spell in Skyrim and put it into the game and everything. So this is what the creation kit looks like. I would suggest you watch these videos in order and to understand some of the stuff. So how you get to this window where all the stuff in the game is loaded. Again, as I said in my last one, you need to either push this little folder button, or you need to click File Data, and then double click Skyrim ESM and Skyrim Update, or Update.esm, and then you push OK. But since I already did that, and it takes a little while to load, because it's loading everything in the game, I already did that for you guys, just to save time. And whenever you get like error messages like this blah 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 is not here, whatever, just push yes to all when you're loading things. When you're loading up the Skyrim and .esm and update.esm. Okay. So let me move this. A little tip for you guys: if you're doing a mod that doesn't require the render window very much, and it just requires the object window, just go to the object window, go to this white space right here, right click, and then say create new object window. It's very useful if you're doing, like, if you want to do books or something on this side and spells on this side. So let's get going with this. We're going to make a, we're going to try to make a fire spell. So what you want to do is you want to go to magic, and let me go to book on this side, because we're going to use a spell book to be able to get the book into and use it, you know. It's like a spell book, basically. So we're gonna uncollapse the magic, go to magic effect, and you could either go right click new, and it will give you this window, which I'm probably gonna do because I've had problems editing it on the last video I made, and it would crash the Skyrim. So you can do right click new, or what I did was go into the filter, search fire, or whatever you want, whatever the name of the spell you want, and then go through here and just double click on one of these to edit it. And if you're editing a previous form or magic effect, I'm gonna call them forms. So if you hear me say form in any of the creation kit tutorials, it usually means it's one of these type of things. So edit the form, and first off, change the name of the ID to 000 and then whatever you want to name it. But since I'm not going to be editing it, I'm just going to make a new one. That's only if you're editing it, and the reason you change the ID is because the IDs are these things you see. So this one would be ABB Ghostfire. As you can see right now, that's the ID, and you do want to change those because there can only be one of the same name at a time in the creation kit. So I'm going to just do right click new, fire spell. So I'm going to be making one from scratch. Fire. I'm just going to name it something. I don't know. I don't know, it was like, so the name dialog box would be what the spell's name is in the game, so in the game itself. And then that's just the ID for the creation kit up there. I'm gonna do effect archetype would be we're gonna do some script. Let's just do script. We're not gonna actually add a script. As you can see, this one is the papyrus script is grayed out because we haven't saved this magic effect yet. I'm gonna change the constant or the casting type is fire and forget. So when we just fire the spell, we just use it and it doesn't do anything else. We're gonna do aimed, which would be you aim it at something and you use it. Magic skills, self-explanatory, destruction. Magic skill level, or minimum skill level, which means the skill level you have to be in this skill up here. So I'm going to do 10. Associated item, usually you can do that, but I don't really use those. I never really have. So resist fire. I'm just putting these, I don't know why, but if you look at some of the spells in Skyrim, the magic effects, they will have a resist value of resist fire for fire spells. I don't know why. It makes no sense. Perk to apply is the perk you need in your skills to be able to play or use this. I think that's what those are used for. The flags are the most important, and the base cost would be what's the base cost of the spell. So I'm going to click no duration on the flags, and that will be grayed out. FX persist, because that's usually, they usually have those on, if you look at the spells in the game that are default. The keywords, I don't think you need for any spells and stuff. That's for mainly other stuff. Counter effects, I've never used those, but it looks pretty interesting. So anyway, base cost, of course, as I went over already, is the magic of base. No magnitude, no area. These are kind of self-explanatory. This will have no area effect, but I want to have an area effect. Script effect, let's do an area of 50. And then the casting time, let's do magnitude. Or not magnitude. You don't need to do it in the spell because we can edit it later. Equip ability, don't need that, I don't think. The sounds, I'm just going all around. These are the sounds that you do that it sounds like in the game. So this is gonna be like a fireball spell. Charge, fire, or MAG, fire. There we go. You have to do MAG. So MAG, fire, bolt. And then you just do fire, bolt, draw. Ready is MAG, fire, because this is a fire spell. And it's pretty, see, this says ready, so ready, charge, release, MAG, and it doesn't matter if you capitalize it, if you push shift. So if you do MAG, as you can see, I didn't do it fast enough, so MAG, FIRE, flames, flame, firebolt. Let's see. These are usually different. I don't know. I'll just do that. casting loop on hit. I don't know what the casting loop is. Magic, fire, bolt, impact. Casting sound level, very loud. This is basically how loud it is. And you can, this is pretty self-explanatory. Oh, my caps lock's on. So, that's how you do your fire spell description. That'll be in the game. Menu display object. I know I'm going all around, but it's okay. So I'm gonna do like magic fire, let's see, fireball art, since this is a fire spell. So anything for magic effects starts with MAG. Casting art is what it will look like. Fire ball hand effects. Casting light. Fireball. So, you can do that. Hit effect art. Enchant shaders and enchant art, or if you're only making this an enchantment. I haven't really messed with enchantments. Hit effect art. Fire. Fire. I'm not gonna probably do this one. Yeah. But what magic effects are, you can also make shouts with magic effects. So anything dealing with shouts, potions, I think. Let me see. Yeah, anything to do with potions. I haven't really made a potion, so I wouldn't know. Potions, magic effects, or, I mean, enchanting shouts and stuff are done with this. Projectile is very important. Since we're making a fire spell, we're gonna do fire, fire bolt projectile. Explosion is basically if it explodes. So we're gonna do fire, firestorm, fire. Let's just do firestorm explosion too. These are pretty self-explanatory. Impact data set is what the impact would look like, I guess. Match. So let's do MAG fire bolt 01 impact set. Alrighty, so we made our destruction spell, and if you want, you can do these. Oh, this is a perfect example. If when you're loading the Skyrim ESM and Skyrim or update ESM, you'll get messages like this where it says the blah blah blah. Just push yes to all for every single one of them. And since we made our spell now, we can push OK, and our spell is made. Now we need to make the actual spell that you're going to do in the game. So you need to go to spell, right click, new. Let's do 000 fireball, fireball tut, and then just name the spell. Type spell. This is basically the type. You can do voice power. Voice power means it's a shout. All of these are different abilities. And I'll probably make making your custom race one. I haven't decided yet. So you're gonna have to match up some of these with your magic effect. So this spell is fire and forget. The delivery was aimed. Menu display object. Magic. Just search MAG and then go down. And there. I'm going to do either hand, so you can have either hand. Casting perk again is the same. Some of the spells have PC start spell. I don't know what that means. And then I'm going to uncheck auto calculate for now. Go right click and new on that one. This will come up. And that's the only way you can get this is right click and new. Or you can edit. Then go here and we see our 000 fire spell. We're going to do our magnitude of, let's do 100 in an area of 75. So this will tell you the auto-calculated results. If you want to do conditions for anything like these type of boxes, you right click and new. These are just like if you're, these are kind of like papyrus fragment parts, but simplified. I'll talk about papyrus in a different tutorial. Anyway, push OK once these are done. And then there's your spell. And then I'm going to do spell cost is 20. Just because this is a tutorial and I'm not actually going to upload this, and this isn't really a serious upload, or this isn't a serious spell, so. But if you're really going to upload this, I'd make it as realistic as you can, or auto-calculate. But that's way too much. So, 20. Because everybody has 20. Magicka. And then once you're done with all this, push OK. There's your spell. Now the last thing, two things we need to do is make a book for a spell book for your spell you just made. So let's just search Fireball, Fire, Spell Tome Fireball. Double click on that. Since this is a spell book, we don't need any of the text. Rename the IDs if you're ever editing anything. Rename it. That's the first thing you do in case you accidentally push OK. So, Fireball, Ball Spell. And then you can delete the name it yourself, but I'm going to do Spell Tome Tutorial. And don't worry if it goes over the 24. I haven't noticed any problem with it. And as you can see, it already, since this is a default spell tome, it already has these two one of these two selected. So you can select if it teaches a skill, or you can select if it teaches a spell. We're teaching a spell, so go to the very top, you can type 000. That's the reason why I do 000. Is because it's at the very top, usually, of everything. Alright, so we created our book. Make sure everything is right. Make sure your spell is right here. The spell name 000 Fireball Tutorial, or Tut. And that's basically what it teaches. Push OK. And then it will say create new object. Old ID, some blah 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 has changed. Create new form. Push yes. We always want to create a new form if we're editing any of them. So the last thing we need to do is we need to select a world space to put it in. And this will be more in depth when I'm in the layout tutorial, which is going to start after this one. It's going to be episode 4. It's very exciting. So I'm going to put it in Whiterun. Whiterun, blah. Gosh, I can't speak today. Whiterun world. And then what you want to do is look at any of these, and if you need to make these any bigger, just go up here, up to the title, and then click and hold, and you can drag the name and stuff. And then that's for all of these. Like chords, it tells you the coordinates, tells you the owner of the cell, And I'll tell you about cells and stuff in the next episode, which is very cool. It's going to be very, very awesome. So we're going to load Whiterun Plains District, and how you load them is double click on the cell name. So you see the render window is loading, and you get another warning, just push yes to all. Okay, I need a drink. So as you can see, this is what it looks like in the game. I'm going to exit out of that. And this is suggested that you resize the render window before you do anything, but because sometimes if you have a bad computer, it will lag and may crash your game or your creation kit. As you noticed, I haven't saved it yet, so that's another thing you probably want to do, is save it often, because the creation kit could crash at any time. So save it after you made any changes that you want. Okay, anyway, we're in the Whiterun world. You see all these red, blue, green, all these boxes everywhere. Those are markers for certain events. How do you toggle those so where you can see them and not see them? They won't delete them. You just, in the render window, you'll be able to not see them and see them. You push M on your keyboard. And then sometimes, since this one, see those red boxes and everything, these showed up more, just push M again until you see this. And the reason why all this fire and stuff is moving is because I have this button right here, which is the FX button. If I didn't have that on, they wouldn't move. I would suggest, if you don't have a very good computer, I would suggest not having these on all the time. But I do, so I can run Skyrim Ultra. So anyway, I'm going to put the book over here, and since I closed the object window over here and made this longer so we can see more content, I'm going to go to items and then book 000 fireball. Go back over here. You can, how you zoom in and out is you scroll out and scroll towards you is scrolling out, and scrolling away from you is scrolling in. Or you could push V, or you can hold V, move your mouse up and down, and you can do this. It's more precise for zooming in. That's what that one is used for. If you want to move around the cell like this, you hold shift and move your mouse so you can move around like this. That's basically what we're doing. And then if you want to move around like this, where you can't rotate, you just middle click your mouse button, you just click your scroll wheel, or you click and hold and then move your mouse. So that's the basic ones. And if you click on an object and you use shift and move your mouse, it will rotate around the object. So you see that little green and red box, that's your object that you selected. I know this is kind of a long tutorial, but this isn't very easy, even for a simple spell. Anyway, what you want to do to place your spell tome is click and hold, single click and hold the name of your editor, where it says editor ID, see? And click the name, click and hold it, drag and drop into the render window. If you want to get these little guides that you see right now that I'm doing, which are axis constraints, you push, this is a Z, X, and then this is the Y axis, but the hotkey is C. Don't ask why. I don't know why. It's really weird. So I'm using the Z axis constraint, and then I'm clicking on the arrow and moving up and down. And then I'm going to use the Y-axis. Just position it wherever you want. And if you want to rotate the object, this is another cool thing. I would suggest having these two on. This is grid snap, and then this is angle snap. And how you edit the angles and stuff, you need to right click, render window properties, movement, and then edit these two values. So mine has a snap to angle at 45, which I usually keep for everything, because it's a nice degrees. So to rotate your object, whoa, that's anything to undo is Control Z, as in most programs, but to rotate your object, you need to right click and hold and move your mouse left and right. So, or if you want to make it look not as perfect, you can touch this button, and that's the havoc constraint button or whatever. So if you wanted to do that, I'm going to turn grid snapping off, because that's too much that it's grid snapping. Oh, and I think I hit it, or almost did. If you accidentally push 1 on the numpad, push Control 1, I think. For some reason it's getting hidden. Just find, if you accidentally like get anything where you accidentally deselect it, just go to the editor ID under this part and then select it there, and you'll get to select it. And then how I got this, because for some reason what the heck is it doing? It's being really weird. Anyway, you do that and it's right there. It will probably fall, but that's where my book is, and it doesn't really matter where you put it. Push that little floppy disk, or you can do file save as, or file save and then name it tutorial, and then just push enter. And there is your basic spell, and I am going to meet you inside the game and show you where it is and all of our work that we've done. So I'll see you then. Okay, so before I actually go into the game, I am going to show you how to load it into and make sure it's loaded into the game. Either you can go to the Skyrim launcher, I would create a shortcut to your desktop, or you can use the Nexus mod manager, which I'm going to use. It's basically the same thing, but on the Skyrim launcher. Let's see, let's search launcher. I'll show you how to do it on the Skyrim launcher since we're not using a script. God dang it. I don't care. Whatever. Anyway, I'm gonna go to my Skyrim shortcut, which is libraries. I'd suggest using libraries for Skyrim stuff. And so to create a shortcut, which I'm gonna probably do now, go to right click, send to create shortcut on your desktop to create shortcut. But since I'm using Skyrim script extender, which I'll get into when you're doing scripting and things for Skyrim, you want to use the Nexus mod manager, because the Skyrim launcher will not launch Skyrim correctly with Skyrim script extender. So you can see this is all of my mods that I have, and you can click and hold to move them around. And on the Skyrim launcher you can do the same thing, but this is the Skyrim launcher. You need to go to data files, and you can see that these are all your mods, and then check loaded. See this little checkbox? You need to click on it and then push OK. That's how you do it on the Skyrim launcher. Anyway, I'll meet you in the game. Alright. Alright, we are now in Whiterun, in the game, and here is my spellbook. I just picked it up. Go to items, books, fire spell, read it, you've learned your new spell. And then if you go to destruction, under the magic, there it is.
More inside.
So let's test it out.
I don't claim to be the best blacksmith in Whiterun. Yorlin Dreaming about that.
So I guess you just made a spell that doesn't really do anything, but you know, if you mess around with its effects and the damage and stuff, you might have to in the magic effect menu, you might have to check is hostile. And I didn't do that. So it's still pretty entertaining.
The general goods store.
Let's see what happens when you do this.
I spend a lot of time at the market so I can learn the merchant's trade. I need more experience if I'm going to run an inn.
Make like a mini Foos Road up. Food and stuff. Anyway, that was a tutorial on how to make a spell for Skyrim. You can experiment around with it, but that was just how to make a basic one, put it into the game and stuff. I mean, you can make whatever you want. Anyway, comment, rate, subscribe, as I said again.